We're back for the third installment of our 5 days of 5 ideas on Purim, leading up to Purim this week, coming this Friday, Be'ezras Hashem. So, idea number 3, 4, and 5, I want to just get into a little bit some of the mitzvos hayom, some of the mitzvos of Purim. The Zohar teaches very famously that the mitzvos are eitzos from HaKadosh Baruch Hu for how to experience dveikus with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We can't attach ourselves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu itself, like the Gemara in Sota says. The only way we can really be mistavik with HaKadosh Baruch Hu is derech midosav, through his midos and through the expressions of Hashem's ratzon that are carried through the or that we experience. And on a Yom Tov like Purim, the way we experience that or that is contained within the Yom Tov is through the mitzvahs hayom, it's through the mitzvahs of the day of Purim. And the truth is that the or of Purim, which is the or of Bilti Gevul B'socha Gevul, the infinite transcendent Havaya, the infinite transcendent HaKadosh Baruch Hu that is present within the ordinary katnos and the ordinary course of events that take place within the story of the Megillah and within the story of our own lives up to the present day and into the present day. That or needs to be integrated on Purim at all three levels of our existence, at the levels of the nefesh, the ruach, and the neshama, at the level of the guf, which corresponds to the nefesh, at the level of the emotions, which correspond to the ruach and the lev, and at the level of the neshama, which corresponds to the seichel and the moach, the head, the intellect. And so the mitzvahs hayom that we're going to talk about today and in the coming days are going to talk about and give us an entry point for experiencing and internalizing the or of Purim through these three different aspects of our personalities, integrating that or into us fully at all three levels. And we begin with the lowest level, or relatively speaking, the lowest level, which is the level of nefesh, the level of guf, the level of maisa, of actions. And that is the mitzvos of mishloach manos and matanos le'evyonim. The difference between tzedakah that we give all year long and matanos le'evyonim, one of the differences is that the halacha is that on Purim, we're not medakdek b'mos Purim. We're not careful in particular about who we give money to. Instead of saying, I only give tzedakah money to people who are actually aniyim and actually deserve tzedakah money, which is the typical halacha, unless someone is asking for immediate needs of food, we check, we're medakdek, we check, we make sure that the people we're giving to are actually deserving. But on Purim, the mitzvah of Matanos Le'evyonim is partly a mitzvah of L'chol mi sheposhid yado. Everyone who sticks out their hand and asks for money, the mitzvah is to give them money. On Purim, we are mevatel our money, and we're mevatel our own impressions of who deserves and who doesn't deserve and how much they deserve. We're mevatel it to the Ratzon Hashem. On regular tzedakah, the material reality that we exist within and the world that we exist within, it means that some people who ask for money are not actually deserving, they may not be poor. And on the level, in the sense of chitzonius and in the sense of maisa, the level of guf, the level of nefesh, in that sense, we have to be good stewards of the money that we have, the money that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has entrusted to us as a pikadon to be able to give of that money to others. And to be good stewards of that money and to be careful with that money that has been entrusted to us. We live in a material world, in a chitzonius world, in a physical world where some people seem to us on the outside to be deserving and seem to us not on the outside not to be deserving. And the mitzvah all year long is to live in that reality that we're placed in and to be medakdek, to check whether someone deserves or needs the money that we might be giving them, and to only give tzedakah to those who are deserving. But on Purim, the mitzvah of Matanos Le'evyonim shows that we're revealing that the chitzonius is also Yad Hashem. The whole idea of Purim is that the chitzonius, the normal events, the events that take place on the lowest level of maisa, of guf, of nefesh, the ordinary events that take place within the world, cause and effect, schar and onesh, chok hateva, nature, and so on and so forth, they're all Yad Hashem, and therefore both the giver and the receiver are understand that they're mavutal, they're batal, they're nullified, they melt away in the face of the fact that they're just kalim playing a role, just like the characters in the Megillah are just kalim playing a role in the unfolding of the events that are being controlled by the bilti gevol by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Shem Havaya. Likewise, the giver and the receiver of tzedakah, of Matanos Le'evyonim, understand that they are not real things. They are not independent things. They are just players in the play, in the performance that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is using them to put on. They're following a script, and they are just expressions and manifestations of the bilti gevul, of the impossible infinitude of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, operating within the space of limitation and ordinary events. And therefore, there's absolute and total reliance on HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we give tzedakah on Purim, when we give Matanos Le'avyonim, kol haposhet yado, anyone that sticks out their hands in front of the nosein gets tzedakah, because it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu that put this nosein, this giver, and that mekabel, that receiver, in this place at this time with money in their pocket and a hand outstretched. And it doesn't matter everything else, all the ordinary externals of you deserve, you don't deserve, etc., which are an appropriate way to approach the world. But on Purim, we have a gilui, we have an opportunity to experience at the level of action, maisa, of nefesh, in our giving of Matanos Le'avyonim, of expressing and internalizing through our actions, that none of that really matters. It's just HaKadosh Baruch Hu operating within the normal events of people.